Rafi's Rambles, Rafi's Rambles, Rafi's Rambles.
Hola, you amazing artist. Guess what? I am done with the books. Hold on, I want to show you. So, here is the Rogue Artist Marketing Book Guide. Here is the money book that I wrote. And here is the workbook that I wrote. And here is the original book that I wrote that just got its last and final edit. And so it is completely polished up and out in the world on Amazon. These books get released in June. This was going to be one book, and then it turned into what you see here, which was a way bigger project than what we had anticipated. Now someone else is going to go through the books and make sure that, there's not any typos or anything like that. This is one of those moments where you sit back and you look at what you accomplished, what you created, and you're like, I can't believe it. Like, here it is. The things that I wanted to be in life. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to express myself with art. When you're a small kid, you think about these things and you think like, wow, yeah, of course, it's possible. This is what I want to do. I want to be these things. I want to pursue this as a career. When you're really small, a lot of times, maybe you have parents that are like, yeah, you could, I love your crayon drawing. I'm going to put it on the fridge. But then once you start getting older and reality starts to set in, and you're told, you may not want to pursue that. You may want to pursue something that is stable. And sometimes you have family members that are pretty mean about it. So you put your dreams aside and it becomes just this thing that maybe someday I'll do it. To be honest with you, even after I started my art career, the idea that I would be writing a book just was still kind of like this airy-fairy idea. And now I have 3 books. 3 books in it's a workbook, but 4 books. I have four books. Look at this thing. That's all my thoughts. The thing is, man, I think about the fact that, I could have done this before, right? And I think a lot of times we get stuck in that place, or I could have done this, I should have done this, I would have done this if I got to a point in life where I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. Why not? Why not just go for it? Why not just put it out there? And the thing about it was that there were years and years and years of insecurity, because when you put something off for a long time, right? And it could be anything. It could be like a project that you're working on and you're like, oh, I don't feel like working on it today. But when you put something off for a long time, what ends up happening is you start stacking a whole bunch of reasons, a whole bunch of reasons why it's not a good idea to work on this thing right now. So then when you do tackle it, all of those insecurities just come cascading down and you give yourself every reason in the world to not do the thing. Everything that you're afraid of happening, everything that you've used as a way to talk yourself out of doing something, it all just comes cascading down. And the biggest challenge in doing these books, the biggest challenge in starting an art career, the biggest challenge in releasing an album, the biggest challenge in all of that is your own thoughts, the things that you tell yourself. And well, this is impossible. Why are you going to think about that? Well, this is going to be hard. People are going to reject you. It's going to suck. Everybody's going to be like, you suck. And even still, these books are going to be released. They are done. And every single insecurity in me is everybody's going to hate them. You are full of useless information. It's interesting because the thing is that that's the same way I feel about videos a lot of times, where I'm like, nobody's going to care. But at the same time, the people that matter are there. You guys are there. And the support and the love and everything, that's what it's all about. It's about that community supporting each other to release things, to give the support that wasn't there when maybe I was a teenager, or when I was a young adult and I wanted to follow a creative career and I wasn't getting that support because I was surrounded by people that maybe didn't understand what it was that I wanted out of life. It's you deciding that, you know what, I'm not going to take, that's not the only world that exists. It's not the only world that exists. What is possible is whatever it is that you decide that you're going to do. And whatever roadblocks you have in your head, if you decide that you're going to persist through the suck, you can make anything happen. You can make anything happen. And that sounds so airy-fairy, but it's so true, right? It's so true. Honestly, I'm not even sure I know what the point of this video is. I just wanted to share my excitement with you guys, because like this is phenomenal for me. And for everybody that supported, the Indiegogo pre-order thing is closed, so you can't pre-order the pre-releases. But for all the people that did support this book and were patient, I mean, this book was in the making for, these books were in the making for like a year and a half, right? It went through a hurricane and a pandemic and us moving and all that stuff. And everyone that supported these books were patient and just supportive and kept rooting me on to finish these books. And I can't thank you enough. I just can't thank you enough for that. So now that the books are done, Klee and I are going to be able to focus on building the studio, because honestly, I thought I was going to be able to build the studio while we were doing these, but that wasn't going to happen. So we are actually going to be working on the studio for the next couple weeks. We have a few things that are going on with our patrons, like Collab Lab and all that stuff. One of the other things that happened while working on this book is that I lost 2 hard drives and I lost a bunch of information and a bunch of projects that we have been working on. But we happened to find the audiobook commentary that Klee and I did for the Rogue Artist Survival Guide, 12 hours worth of commentary that we were planning on sharing. We were planning on doing the audiobook on YouTube. But then when I lost our hard drives, I thought that that entire project that we had worked on was gone. But I found it. So the next few things that I post here on YouTube is going to be that audiobook commentary, so that you guys could finally listen to it. We recorded this several years ago and we're really excited to share it with you guys. And then, you know, that happened and then life happened and you know, it's just sometimes life happens and you just move on to different projects. But I'm excited that we found it. So I'm going to be posting that. So if you get a bunch of notifications of Rafi and Klee posted stuff, that's probably what it is. We're going to go and work on the studio. There is really, other than that, no point to this video other than to just say thank you guys. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. That's it. That's all this video is about. Thank you. And I'm going to go now. I adore you guys. Adios.